Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Happy New Year to all of you. Wish you a very happy and healthy New Year. Wish that this New Year becomes for you a process of discovering true happiness through self-growth. Our Puja Swamiji says, what is living? Living means growing. What is growing? Well, you know that Upanishad teaches us, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Meaning that I am Purna, I am already full or complete being. So what would be growth? Growth would be to bring to manifestation that wholeness or completeness which is my true nature. That wholeness or completeness is as though obstructed today because of the presence of likes and dislikes, born of ignorance. So this ignorance and the likes and dislikes, raga dveshas, born of that, is what obstructs the manifestation of our true nature, the manifestation of the wholeness which is our nature. Just as the clouds covering the sun obstruct the manifestation of the brightness of sun, and so also our wholeness, our completeness is obstructed. Therefore, the self-growth would be understood as progressively removing this obstacle so that the wholeness, which is our true nature, progressively becomes manifest. And for that also, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has taught a very beautiful means. Our Puja Swamiji says, transform yourself from being a consumer to being a contributor. Thus the process of constantly transforming myself into a contributor is the process of growth, because that is conducive to bring into manifestation my wholeness. How do I do that? Every situation, every interaction with others gives us an opportunity to bring to manifestation the wholeness or goodness from within us. Now, as human beings, we constantly relate to the world from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep. We play a variety of roles and relate to the family members, to the colleagues, to our friends, and to those various people. And each interaction can be made into an opportunity to bring out the goodness from us by maintaining a certain attitude. the attitude of being a contributor, attitude of being a giver. What do I give? I just give my intrinsic goodness. Fortunately, we have an infinite store of goodness within us. And giving that goodness will only increase the goodness or bring to greater manifestation. So this is one thing which is a win-win situation. By giving, I become greater than what I am. So what do I give? My goodness. What is meant by goodness? My compassion, my love, my kindness, accommodation. That one of the important things that I do is accommodation of the people. I interact with variety of people. Each one of them has virtues as well as limitations or defects. Nobody is totally devoid of virtues, nor is anybody totally devoid of limitations also. Therefore, the people with whom I interact are going to be incomplete, imperfect people, and their imperfection may be manifest in their attitudes, which sometimes may be a harsh attitude, a rejecting attitude, an aggressive attitude, sometimes. And people are helpless in being what they are because their nature dictates what they do. At that time, this attitude of accommodation, attitude of compassion, that this inappropriate behavior on the part of the other person is not the intrinsic nature of the person. Intrinsically, that person also is a good, kind, beautiful person. As I am, so is the other person. But some obstacles in the heart of that person, come to become obstacle to manifestation of his kindness and goodness and beauty. And therefore, I try to accommodate, ignore. Upeksha. I do the upeksha. I overlook that. Meaning that, do not make it an issue. I rather try to relate to the intrinsic goodness that that person has. And therefore, even though that person may not treat me in the most desirable way, I nevertheless attempt to treat that person in the best way that I can, with kindness, with compassion, with forgiveness, with accommodation. In this, both have to gain. Because I deliberately make it a point to bring out my goodness, therefore I become a better person. And that person also may be surprised to see this kind of response from me as to how that person's aggressive behavior has not been countered or retaliated by me. That I do not retaliate at the negativities of that person. And that conveys a message. By my behavior, I am really making a point. And therefore, that person gets that message. And it will also help transform that person. There is an additional advantage. That I am genuine in this. Because I realize that the purpose of my life is to grow. And more goodness I bring out from myself, happier I become. So for being happy in the coming new year, and the only way of becoming happy is by being a good person. By bringing out the goodness from ourselves. So may you be blessed by Lord Dakshinamurti, that you are motivated and you have the alertness, of course. We need to be alert. When the time comes for bringing out the goodness from me, I have to be alert to do that. So may you enjoy that alertness, enjoy the grace, so that, and discover also the value of being good. The value should become valuable. That I should be a good person should be my own assimilated value. In that case, I will do it without any conflict from within myself. Because it is not easy. When the other person is not good towards me, it is natural to retaliate by being, similar to that person. But keeping under check my natural instinct of retaliation and bringing to play, bringing to manifestation my value of being a good person is difficult. It requires alertness, requires commitment, requires assimilation of value. So all of this should be there, and therefore Lord Dakshinamurti should bless us all with all of this, so that this intention on our part becomes a reality in our day-to-day living. So our life becomes a process of growth, as Pujya Swamiji says, living is growing. So then only we truly live. So again, may you all be blessed by the Lord, so that the next year is spent in truly living, that every one of you grows and becomes a happier person. Om Tat Sat.